All right. All right. Cool. I've got some things to look at, and it is now officially very hot, very hot outside. So this is what I do. 1:49 p.m. This is a mulch and fish that Rick gave me over at Gardens and Glass. It's been in the back of my truck since Wednesday. It is hot. Hot, hot, hot. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Okay, cool. We got that going on. See how that's being shared. I'm gonna also, since I'm kind of new to sharing and going live, I'm gonna toy around with my settings, simple annotations, try to give you the best quality. I wonder if that's, I wonder if you guys are getting full screen there, the way I'm getting. Either way, we'll go here real quick. Yeah, you do get full screen. Okay, cool. All right, pull this up. So again, this is a mulch and fish. We've been dealing with a lot of fish at the garden, a whole lot of fish. So Rick's mixing it in mulch, kind of a pre-compost, and this is at 40 time magnification. It is hot. It's pretty hot. It was sitting in the back of my truck since Wednesday. It's been getting rained on. I've been traveling around with it everywhere. It's getting inoculated as I drive. So this is what I do during the day. I'll come in and look at certain things. I wanted to get to this as I get away from the heat outside, especially in the summer. I'll be doing more of this and diving in. This is how I get to understand a lot. But I gotta tell you right now, just right now, even here, I'm surprised at fungal hyphae. Right, let me pull this little thing up here. Right there. This is fungal hyphae. That's at 100 time magnification. Let me see if I can get closer to that. Of course I can. 200 time magnification. That is clear fungal hyphae. I'll get even closer. It's a small one, which makes sense. It's a new. So this thing is, if I had to put a temperature on it, it's probably around 90 degrees. Um, so hyphae does, why am I tracking two of these? Trippy. I don't know why. Let me get rid of this thing. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, but let me get my pointer. Clear septite. You see the septated structures, tons of bacteria. Again, very hot. Look at this thing. There's already biology, and this is a mulch, man. And the mulch with fish, it smells fishy. It doesn't stink. You just know there's no question about it. There's fish in this thing. Here is another piece of fungal hyphae. Obviously organic matter everywhere. So this is kind of like an empty canvas for me. Mulches. Wow, look at that. I can't believe there's this much hyphae at those temperatures. That's a big piece there. There's another piece there. You can actually, so knowing what it looks like, right? When we go to 100 and even 40, we can see it everywhere. You can see the strands. Me, Jeremy, what up, man? How you doing, brother? Just diving in. I'll jump back and forth to see the comment section, but there's I can actually share with you the link if you want to jump in here. Again, I'll probably be on for like 10 minutes. I'm just doing this to take a look at what's happening. But there's the link, man. Feel free to jump in. So, yeah, what's up with that? 190 degrees. Let's call it 90 degrees. For sure, 90 degrees. It's hot. All that nitrogen from that fish. They've got this thing cooking, cooking, cooking. So I'm going to jump back to 100. We were at 40 time magnification there. 100, you obviously start seeing the septa. And let's see what kind of life is in here. Look, I already see tons of life. This is again, this is why I verify things because there's already a lot of life. There's a testate amoeba there. There's that there. Let's just get even closer. I mean, this is at this point clearly a testate amoeba right there. There's another one right there. I wish I could use this cursor without messing things up. It's got a, why it's got a double cursor going? I don't understand that. Maybe I can point. Testate amoeba there. Testate amoeba there. Fungal spore there. I wonder if I'm, no, testate there. So now this thing is chasing. It's giving me doubles. I'm gonna have to figure that out. You should be able to see my mouse at worst. That fungal strand over here. Oh man, soil always impresses me. These things that we look at and we're told. I'm not bashing anyone or anything, dude. I just know that when you go and you look at it, you start seeing things that are different from what everybody says. Long piece of fungal hyphae there, again there. I mean, it's just redundant at this point. That might be a spore. And this is a mulch, man. This has got some work to go. This does not hold, there's no humic substance when you put it in this case, I have it in a cup, so I couldn't even show you what it looks like, but it basically everything settles down. There's no cubic substance, which makes sense. No cubic substance because it's mulch. I mean, there's obviously some breakdown of it already, but I'll be curious to see what else I might find in here. No worries, Jeremy, man. It's just the invites there. Jump back to my screen. All these little spores, and I haven't even started inoculating this thing. Like we haven't even started. I mean, Rick's always starting, right? Rick already put fish in here, but that's because we've been dealing with a massive amount of fish at the garden. So it's kind of like, what else do we do with these probably 1,200 pounds a week? That looks like a testate amoeba. There looks like another one there. So these testates start building up pretty quick, which means that this didn't just pop up, right? This didn't just show up. This means that when this was even hotter, they were still building. Like, I wonder what that temperature is. See, now I'm gonna have to start digging into like compost piles when they hit 160 degrees and go under the scope with that. Like, I'm sure I won't find anything there, but I gotta start going backwards from there. There's an encysted microbe there, another encysted microbe there. So definitely tons of life here already. Fungal hyphae, another testate. I mean, this looks better than most people's soil. I'm not even playing. Look at that fungal strand, this fungal network, right? You see how dark the dark brown color there? That is an ideal color that we're looking for. That's ideal width that we're looking for. Humic, fulvic, and carbon. You can clearly see it all. Let me clear up the screen here. And I expect this, when we hit it with the epifluorescence, to be bright. You see that? Like it's all yellow and tingy like that. Tingy, is that a word? As the organic matter starts to absorb whatever nutrients those are, that starts to get darker and darker. And when compost is pretty mature, you lose that brightness. There's another amoeba here. And by the way, I'm at 200. We're just cruising at 200 and we're looking at all this life. We are looking at all this life. And my question at this point is like, if I needed to inoculate something with microbiology, why wouldn't I use this as an extraction for the life that's in it? I mean, we're loaded with bacteria too, of course, right? This is why it's getting hot, right? Bacteria is working right now. Let's go to 400. Look at the level of bacteria at all levels of the scope. Can you see that? You're seeing your rods, your cocci, every depth. It is just dense with bacteria. And then we get here, and this is kind of like the sweet spot. And I don't know why it's a sweet spot. I don't understand why. I gotta go learn more about how the slide works. There's a spore right there. Tons of life. I did see a nematode earlier when I was sitting at 40x, but I was trying to figure out this whole zoom thing. But look at that already. And then maybe notice that their shells are clear. I don't know if that's a thing with the clear shells. What's up, silly Lily? There's a link there if you want to jump in and say hi real quick to this Zoom. It's a live Zoom. Let's go with back over here, trying to figure out, still trying to tighten up my lives. And I was all for context, I'm looking at this mulch that we had prepared, that Rick had prepared with fish, because we're dealing with massive amounts of fish. But look at the level of biology that's already in here. And it's this hot. I'm at 400 right now. There's bacteria everywhere. And then what I'll do with all this bacteria, it's a lot of times, if I wanted to isolate them, I will. Especially when I do a soil sample that somebody sends me and I want to pull their native biology, put it in a jug, and then inoculate my mother culture with it. Yeah, I'm that intense with it. This is some type of candida or something. That looks really cool. That's at 400, so you can imagine how small that is. And if I back this up, I fully expect this in about 6 to 8 months to be a powerhouse. And that's because I'm gonna also inoculate. But look at this microbe here. That might be a testate amoeba. Look at the diversity in that amoeba. Look at the shape and size is different from most that we've been looking at here. But you see that would be kind of like the mouth, the face, or the opening, the amoeba's inside. That looks potentially like a lipid, which would make sense. I would expect to see lipids in here because of the oil content in the fish, which is cool. It's good to see that your inputs I could see them, It's good to start identifying these things, and that's just look, there's a spirilla in the background. You see him? Let me see if I can dial him in. That's a spirally thing. Those are the quote unquote bad guys, and I will say that they are they could be pathogenic. Not right now though. This is early stages of compost, and it's only one. He's no threat here. If there was a gang of them, they may be a threat, and even then, I had a 10-gallon brewery that I let go completely anaerobic and had millions of them in the background, and I threw them into my garden bed, and I'm guessing my soil was so solid that they just disappeared. 10 minutes later, I couldn't find one under the microscope. More spores, so more hyphae, and then these guys. I think again, Candida. I have to go look at that again. There's another testate amoeba. So far, I've seen one nematode in here, and that's gonna change, I'm sure. Here's another one of these. You can see there's biology in there, and it looks like the shell. See, an encysted microbe will have a double layer wall all the way around it, and that is not all the way around it. That would be an opening right there. There's action going on here, and they're preparing themselves. But look, again, it takes time to build that. If these testate amoeba, they build their shells from everything around them, and they excrete glues, and they use their little pseudopod hands, and they go out in their arms, and they stretch out, and they collect materials to then start building their shell. I doubt that's a couple hours worth of work. So at what temperature? Now I'm going to start chasing temperatures. This is the rabbit holes that I go in. Now I want to know at what temperature I'm going to find my first testate amoeba. I can tell you at what pH I'll find my first testate amoeba, and that's usually around a 5.5 on some of my fermented compost that I bring out of that reductive state. There's another spirella there. Again, no threat. I don't feel threatened by those at all, unless you see them in the thousands or colonizing certain areas. There's just way too much going on here. Things are settling up. There are too many predators in here. Those testate amoebas are beneficials. They're beneficials telling you that the conditions are favorable for with oxygen and just good oxygen conditions. That's what they're doing there. Look at this fungal hyphae. I'm just saying, man. This is what I'm talking about when I say what temperature is what then? You know what I mean? This is why we got to verify.
Temperature's what, man?
Oh, what up, man? What's happening? There he is. Caught me just cruising through my stuff, man. I was looking at this mulch that Rick put out there. Rick at Gardens and Glass. We've been dealing with like 1,200 pounds of fish a week out there.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
fish, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish, and it's temporary, right? We know that we have the snowbird season here, so we're connected to the fishery out there, and you gotta keep everyone happy. But look at this fungal hyphae, dude. So my whole point in the temperature is that this is a mulch mixed with fish, baking at about 90 to 100 degrees. It's been sitting in the back of my truck since Wednesday. It smells like fish. I've been trying to work it through the rain, but at what temperature? This is supposedly we don't get nothing much other than bacteria at these temperatures. That's why I verify. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? This is this samples is loaded with bacteria. And I mean it's loaded with biology. That's a beautiful piece of fungal hyphae. And it's hot. I'm at 400 magnification. Look at all the bacteria. Tons
yeah,
of bacteria. Just cooking it, right? They're just cooking this compost pile. And then at all levels of it, if I pull the scope back, we'll start seeing, well, that's a little too high. But if I start going deeper, look, there's no end to the depth of this thing. I mean, obviously there's an end to it, but at every level on the slide, there's bacteria. And then I get this sweet spot. This is what my mind starts going crazy. Why is it on this slide there's a happy zone for everything? Is it buoyancy? I don't know. I don't know, but this is obviously a party just popping. I've seen a couple spirella, which don't concern me at all. I'm looking at lipid packs here. You see this lipid here. That's obviously from the fish, right? So I'm
hmm
seeing the oils from the fish. The heat in the pile is coming from the fish, and this is a pre-compost, right? We pre-compost out there, and then that fish pile, which most people would consider a compost, we then take a skunk. This is got a little party going on here. What up, skunk? So
Gosh.
we are
What's up?
pushing it through. What up, homie?
Hey, Josh.
What's going on, Ken?
Just getting ready for today's show, man.
Nice. Yeah, I couldn't let y'all have all. I was in there charging my phone. I was like, 50%, we're good.
Hey, I was messaging you the other day, dude. You got to send me some of that algae next time you send me samples. We'll put that green
Yeah,
algae right under the scope, dude, and dig into that and show all that. Look, test data
I
amoeba,
got
come
some.
on.
I got some brown brown algae right now growing in the Newt Creek, and it's producing little oxygen bubbles all over it.
I saw that. I was watching that live. I was watching it.
Yeah,
I definitely
brown.
yeah, that's good. Different type of carotenoids, whole different deal there. Look at this test data amoeba. So here's another thing. Look at the size of that test data amoeba. I'm at 200 magnification. I'm going to jump to 400 magnification. If, in
Nice.
fact, it takes time for that to build, right? This test state amoeba, this gel, the blob. Remember that old movie, The Blob, back in the 70s or something? It's using its pseudopods and it's grabbing things from the environment and building the shell. That takes time. So, how hot was the pile when it was building? And I mean, I'm not obsessing over this, but I need answers. You know, I keep hearing, oh, they don't come around until like 80 degrees or 85. I beg to differ, sir. You know, I'm in movie mode right now.
Well, I
The
had
thing is,
this IMO. Go ahead. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
yeah,
can.
yeah, I was just gonna say when you took your sample, did you mix it up at all? Did you get an outside edge plus the inside temperature, or that could be why you're seeing all of the difference in what you're seeing there, and seeing things that should be at a different temperature.
Well, that's a great question. So I did go in deep and where it was hot because this is exactly my point. I wanted to see what's happening here because this is not the first time I put mulch or pre-compost under the microscope at hotter temperatures, and I'm recognizing these higher trophic microbes that would otherwise we're taught that they don't come around, and they do. There's a spirella there. There's the bad guy. If there's any bad guy, that's him right there. But he's only one. He's not gonna do much there.
So what
Not
I was gonna
amongst.
say is like I have this IMO 30-gallon tub here, and I cooked it. And we got it up to 120 degrees for about, I don't know, it's about 4 or 5 days actually.
That beast.
And what I guess my question was when we were looking at that test day, like, is that's something that can survive that 120 degrees? Is that why Elaine always pushed don't go over? Because if we go over 120, we're killing off test days,
Well,
any of us, like the good guys
the soil
and the
food web will
fungo.
teach you to
If
get
we
to
get
about 140 to 160 degrees to kill off weeds, I mean, seeds. And then as
yeah.
you start cooling off, these things just show up. And I'm sure that these test states, I mean, listen, these microbes live through freezes, through, look at this fungal hyphae though. Obviously it's
So yeah,
saprophytic, right? But yeah, they can survive it. But this, I don't know, they just they're active. They're working at these
yeah.
temperatures. She's not bad. So now I'm gonna have to go obsess over temperatures. I'm gonna have to go digging, and I'm gonna have to start backwards, right? I'm gonna have to go at, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to start at 160 degrees and start working the pile backwards and doing the microscopy work on that to say, okay, finally, like when I do the bokashi and the acidity stuff, yeah, that right there will wipe everything but bacteria. And that becomes a pH thing, right? Because there's really no heat there. So at a pH of 3.8, I'm just looking at bacteria and yeast. And then as I start pushing that pH up 4.5, we're still there. But once you hit that 5 mark, I start seeing these things. I start seeing encysted microbes, right? So it's like, where did you come from, right? Like, I mean, I get it. I'm not gonna try to figure that out. They come in the air, you know.
What's your water source, Mo?
This sitting in the back of my truck catching rain.
No, but when you take your sample and you're adding it to water and
Oh,
giving
I
it.
use distilled water.
Okay, so there's nothing in the water.
There's
That
nothing in the water. Yeah, right, right. I do use distilled bottled water so that I know that I'm weeding out. Everything is new, a new pipette, a new everything.
okay.
When I want to look for specific life, because yeah, I'm sure my office here, my little lab here is completely inoculated. I mean, I've got microbes everywhere. I guess the fungi is not a big deal, right? Because you can actually see mycelium growing on compost piles when they cool off. But maybe they're just in Florida, dude. You know, we've got a different level of biology in Florida that's these saprophytes like the heat, you know. I mean, look, that's a well put together piece of fungal hyphae. That's 200 magnification. Let's go to 400. Look how thick that is. We're
Yeah, it's
talking
real now.
if you look at that little bacteria, right, and they'll teach soil food web will teach you that those are micrometers, right? Every bacteria is roughly a micrometer. And if you were to chain them across, is how you would determine the width of your fungal hyphae off cuff, like right off the hip, right? Just kind of shooting for a number. I would see how many of those bacteria I can chain across that hyphae. but obvious septa in between them. The colors there. I mean, this is a beautiful, perfect piece of hyphae. So this is what I do when it gets hot here, Ken. Boy, I was baking outside. I was like, all right, enough. It's noon or 1 o'clock. I'm done. I gotta get inside for a little bit. I've been out there all morning, and here's a nice insistent microbe waiting to wake up. But they're here. They're everywhere. We're surrounded by them. This guy right here. Can you guys see my mouse? Yeah, right. There's a spore here. There's a spore there. There's a spore there. So all this life is just waiting to pop. And I haven't even begun to inoculate this pile. This is not even a compost pile to me yet. This is gonna go through my process to maximize life in it and start feeding it and giving it what it needs to really give me that level of biology that I haven't even put my aquatics in here yet and my pond
Well, I'll tell
water.
you what, Mo, I think this is a question that we should be asking Leighton, or you should be asking Matt. I think they'd have an answer or response to what you're seeing and why.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is, I like to do my work before Leighton for sure. I mean, I need to sign up. I have the link. I need to go sign up with you guys for that Monday with Leighton. But,
Yep.
crazy
Well, we're
respect to
booking in
Leighton.
August, man. So you better
You're,
get on it, eh?
you're what? You're booked till what?
We're booked right through until August. We're booking for August now.
Okay, cool. I'll go in after this and book something up.
Cool.
I'm glad to hear that you're booked up like that. I love it.
Well, I gotta go, guys. I just
Do your
wanted
thing,
to
brother.
jump on to say hi.
Appreciate you jumping on, man. Yeah, I'll be jumping off here in a
Yeah,
little bit
Ken.
too.
Yeah, man.
Okay, Josh. See you
See you
guys
Thanks,
soon.
later.
Ken. See you, Ken. Let's go.
I'm just sniffing it right now.
I heard that, dude.
I'm
I
in
gotta
here just
go. I
messing
gotta go.
around.
I gotta go online later on today. I'm gonna go find little sound bites and shit for the StreamYard.
Yeah,
We gotta play with
yeah,
that. But yeah, yeah, man, nice live, dude. You're jamming it out with the whole crew there. You got a whole crew there, dude. Scooter, Cooter, Digger.
yeah. We're all vibing in here. It's pretty nice. It's we just added our first action figure. Did you see that?
I saw that, dude. How you put him in front of the grass, dude? Like you're gonna mow that grass down.
Yeah, he's got a
Hey,
lawnmower. He's sitting on a little lawnmower. He's
I
gonna mow the
thought
grass.
I know it's by design you put him in front of that grass.
Yeah. Well, somebody sent me this. He's got a blower. He's got a chainsaw. He's got all kinds of stuff going on in here. Can you see that?
No, I see
I don't
you.
know why I'm not on camera. I don't know why my camera.
You gotta turn it. I see your face. There you go.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, yeah. Let me see.
How should I hold this thing? I'm not sure. Sideways?
Can I pin that?
You
Wait a
see
minute.
that?
Yeah, hold on. Let me stop sharing this. There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it came with this.
Oh,
Came
that's
with a
cool.
little
It's a whole little
weed
set.
eater and blower.
So you can move the little action figure around, dude. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah, he can ride around.
Oh, that is cool.
He's a little dude. Kind of looks like me too.
You need to get a hat like yours, dude.
He's got a
That's
helmet
funny.
came with
Oh, is he?
it.
Yeah, maybe when you end up in the
But
pond
yeah,
somewhere.
we're headed down to the reservoir to see if we can find some wood for this pond here.
What are you gonna put in it?
We'll
Or are
walk
you gonna
around the edge of the creek and reservoir down there and see if we can find us a nice log we can cut up.
you
I
get
need to find one that's already in the water.
you're getting ready to
It's
put
already
fish in there, right?
saturated. Yeah, we're gonna I got a minnow trap we're gonna throw down there too. So I've got some bread. I'm gonna throw in the minnow trap, a little bologna,
A
a
minnow
little
trap?
yeah, minnow trap.
Oh, cool. Where at
Mhm.
the creek?
Yeah, we're gonna go down there and throw it in the reservoir. And that's where Shiner came from. He was the first fish we
Oh,
put in the
really?
other. Yeah.
Wow, no kidding.
Mhm. Have you ever been out? I don't know if I've ever. Have you ever shown? I don't know if you've ever been out here.
No, no, that's beautiful, man. Man, everything's nice and green.
Yeah, we got a huge. I still don't have internet right now. But down there is I don't know if I can zoom. I don't think I can zoom in, but down there at the end, bottom of the hill, it's about 200 yards away, is a reservoir.
Okay.
Streams all the way through there, and there's come up down through here, and it kind of comes up in a little gully right through here,
Yeah.
and there's an underground water stream that comes out through there and leads into the reservoir. And that's where all that sand and silt clay comes from.
Oh wow. And you're moving this stuff with buckets.
Yeah, I just go down there in buckets.
Damn, it's heavy.
Summer. Oh yeah, it's fucking a lot of work.
Oh, I
Like,
know it's a lot of
so
work.
that's all the rain we got last night. But I'll
Yeah.
show you. Like this, the wheelbarrow was empty last night.
Oh wow. Yeah, you got dumped on.
We got dumped on.
Man, what do you got there? Like 5, 6 inches of water?
It's at least 4.
Wow.
And it all came through here in about 20 minutes.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. But these plants over here, like
Oh yeah,
these
your little
things
garden,
shot
huh?
up. Just these two.
Oh, you got
I
your
got them in
outside grill
grandma's.
too.
I got them in grandma's old flower bed right here.
Yeah,
This
cool.
is my grandparents' old house. Granddad's old ramp ran through here, but this was grandma's garden bed. She got some old roses here. I never
Yeah.
done anything with it, but this year we put these in here and they're taking off. Look, these are I'm 6'2",
Yeah.
and
Man.
they're up over me. Beautiful
Oh,
plants.
damn. Yeah, you got to put some of that humic acid you never used up in there, dude. Get,
Oh, it's in there. We just dump it down in there.
yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I got these rocks sitting on top of it, like around the like here's the stalk.
Damn.
And
Yeah,
then I
that's
just got
amazing,
these
bro.
rocks just sitting around there. I
I
like to
wish we
put
could
this
grow like that around here.
piece of slate here. You can see the roots growing all up underneath there.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I need some samples of that. Take a look at all of it eventually, dude. Just keep popping stuff on the scope. Keep
This
popping stuff
soil
on the
here
scope.
has been building. I mean, it kind of goes up, like so. It kind of is a mound. Like she used to have, I mean, flowers galore all through here for years, and then it kind of got like neglected. And then this year, I just decided to clean it up a little bit.
Dude,
We sort of this is a
silly,
peony. This is a
silly,
peony.
silly
Peony.
Lily says, I wonder what your grandma would think of those beautiful plants in her garden.
Well, she never did drugs. She never drank. She was proud of that. She's like, I never drank. I never smoked. Never did any of that. My
Yeah.
grandfather, on the other hand, he did all that shit. And yeah, she probably would be like, "What is that?" I'll be like, "It's a huge tomato plant," and she'd be like, "Oh, nice."
It smells different.
Smells different.
Yeah, different kind
Got
of
a
breed.
tomato right here. Tomato right there. This
What
got
are,
dumped over last night.
what are your temperatures out there right now?
That's about 86.
Nice, dude.
It's about 80.
Very
It's
nice.
beautiful out here today.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Windy as hell. Wind came through here. I mean, that storm came through here last night, knocked the power out for about an hour and a half. We still ain't got cable. Well, you still ain't got internet. I'm
Really?
just running
Wow.
off my phone. Yeah, I'm just running off my phone.
Damn, that's rough. Yeah, I'm glad I got power lines underground now here, dude. So hopefully that,
Yeah, yeah.
man, I'm
I
sure
don't have to worry about that.
that'll definitely help, man. Especially with these hurricanes and these tropicals that we get, they'll knock you out for
I
quite
got
a
my
while.
only thing I saved last night was the llama bean. We got a llama bean that popped, and it's right there.
You made it
But
to the
everything
bed.
else got thrown down the hill by the storm. Just
Wow.
destroyed it. Oh, we got a flower on our here's a flower on our tomato plant.
Yeah, that cell's already pushing, bro.
So, I've been sitting there racking my brain about, how we're going to grow, vegetables and, you know, cucumbers and beans and all these things along with the cannabis because cannabis is, you know, in and out of here so fast.
Yeah.
And I usually run 18 hours of light. But if I run 18 hours of light with all of this, it would be insanely overgrowth in a matter of months. Because
Oh yeah, you gotta become a
I mean, you
pruning
think
expert.
about it, what I can do is I can just re-veg instead of chopping everything down, I just keep re-vegging,
Yeah,
because I don't like the tomato, I can just pluck and then let it get a certain size and then just keep chipping away at it.
yeah.
And then when I go to flip, I think I should be around 15 and a half hours of light, maybe 16, and then cut it back to 12. So that's what I'm at right now.
Mm.
So at 12 hours, everything goes to flower. You can see obviously by the tomato plant, but the tomato plant would go to flower at 16. And then I cut it back to 12, and it just it really doesn't grow, but it still flowers. If I flip it to 16, it'll produce the nice sized tomato and keep it there. But when I reduce it to 12, I don't know what it's going to do. You know what I mean? And then I flip it
Yeah,
back to 16, and then I flip it back to 12, and I flip it back to 16, because I really don't have to veg that long for these cannabis plants. I just have to be in a time frame where they don't know to go to flower. And where that timeline is, like, is it 14 and a half hours? Is it 15? Can I go from 14 and a half to 12? Because I know 12 flips them. Will 13 flip them? If I go from 16 to 13, will that flip the flower?
hmm.
That's my question that I don't know. And that's just something I'm going to have to play with. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's
the time
also
frames here with the
sure.
different plants.
I'll be more curious too. So you're gonna have to go dark cycle at the same time on everything, right? Because you don't want to. I mean, when lights are out in there, lights are out,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Everything has to go. When
So everything
lights are out,
has,
lights are out.
yeah,
So what's like right now, I started the tomato plant off outside in one of these little containers. Okay. And it got to about this size. Right here. It's grown a little bit since I put it in here, but not much. But it is going to flower. It's put on these little things here, but it's been in here for 2 weeks now, week and a half, 2 weeks.
yeah.
And it's done this and it's put on a flower. And we're in 12. So what I'm wondering is, it only has this isn't going to have time to go produce a fruit, to produce a tomato by the time I cut all this out, because I'm going to be flipping back to what was 18 hours of light. But also, I don't think I need to run 18. I think I was going to go around 16 this time, plant some vegetables and peas and everything. And then instead of going from 18 hours to 12, I'll go from 16 to 12.
Well, I
And that will
think
flip.
I think you should do what you do, bro, and just steward that bitch, and you're gonna learn, bro. You know what I mean? We're gonna find out, as
That's
Rick
what
would
I'm saying,
say.
because it's totally different.
Yeah, that's
Because
exactly what Rick would say. He's like, "Well, Mo, we're gonna find out." You know, it's like that's it's gonna be it.
we're gonna find out.
Hey,
Because with the cannabis, I usually just 18 to 12.
while we're here, can you
Huh?
point out? Can you point out section 1, 2, and 3 and 4 to me?
This is one.
Okay, right up front there.
This is one right
Yeah.
here. So I'm usually pulling from right around in here.
Okay.
All right. So we've got an elephant here, tree here. We got cannabis, but we've grown cannabis all through here multiple times. This is the fifth run. We just
Okay.
usually just cut, and then they turn into stalks like this. It just break down, roots completely break down. There's another elephant tree or empress tree right here. But normally all the cannabis goes right here. I usually am pulling from samples from right in here, like right in here, or here. Usually it's like 4 inches. So here's the edge of the creek right here. Come out about 4 inches and dig down. This is two over here by the bush. So the bush is here.
Nice too. That's a
The
nice looking.
roots go down in here, and then we just kind of prune it back There's a wall kind of. So all these roots go down into here. Cannabis is here, and most of the time over here. But same thing. I'll come off 4 inches and just dig down right around here, get you a sample. And then 3 is over here. This is what you were looking at the other day where the big plant is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I gotta duck in underneath this fucking monster. So this is, here's the stalk. Usually is another one over here, but we removed the males. So you can see there's some moss over here. But that's the creek edge, and then sand silk, all that comes up. And I usually grab a little bit of soil from right here. That's
Man, look at that.
we'll just cover it up. But there's walnut shells. Like, it's a all this cover here. I'll show you where it comes from. All that is from my oak tree down at the bottom of the hill. So down at the bottom of my hill that you just looked at, I'll go down there and scrape up. I'll rake around the oak tree, and just if you go just a little bit below the oak tree, you end up with, it's almost perfect soil.
Yeah,
And
nice.
then I just take that stuff and fill it in with a bucket, like, and then the alfalfa hay or Timothy hay, this is all Timothy hay. Everything, all the Timothy hay you see here came out of June's cage. So the rabbit. So you can see these are rabbit turds in here.
Yeah.
That's a rat, and so I mix all that in there, and then we start to cook. So then we start adding in our natural farming inputs, like our humic acids, our FAA, or a little bit of seawater. You know, this time I used OK Calix's IMO2. I used OK Calix's JLF. It's liquid fertilizer. It's humic acid. Then I mixed some of my FAA, some rice vinegar, some seawater,
He loaded it up.
and we loaded it up, and then we let it cook. Let it get up to about 120 degrees for 4 or 5 days. She puts off a lot of CO2 during that time. Right now, it's like I said, it's got this white powder-like stuff all over it. If you see,
Yeah, it's probably
like,
actinobacteria, probably.
yeah, it just looks like it's got this white froth over it.
Yeah, that's usually actinobacteria breaking things down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what that is. But what we'll do is take that and we'll put it on top of this, and that's all we do, man. That's
That
that's
makes
it.
sense. That makes sense.
Like,
Next time I'll
that's
point
all
it
I've ever
out.
done. I haven't added any other than what the soil originally had in it. And then, when the plants are in veg, we foliar. I love the foliar feed at least once a week.
Yeah.
When I'm foliar microorganisms and maybe a little humic acid. But most of the time it's just FAA, a little dab of FAA, and some microbes, some lactic
Ah,
acid bacteria.
I didn't know you foliar, dude. I could throw you some stuff that we use for foliar.
The foliar spray, I think people miss out big time.
Oh, for sure, dude. If people
Doing
aren't
that
foliar
foliar spraying.
spraying, yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact.
A lot of people will be like,
That's
"Oh,
for
I don't
sure, dude.
foliar." I'm like, well, "You're missing out, bro. You're missing out big time."
Yeah, no, fact. Yeah, I dial in my foliar stuff, dude. I mean, full transparency, I make my foliars specific for,
I mean, I didn't
fruiting,
expect
vegging.
this. I did not expect this.
Yeah, get that beast.
Like, going through that crash.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we
Well,
went
that's
through a
why.
crash, like
That's why.
right in the middle of fucking flower, like almost at the
Yeah,
beginning in the middle, and the flowers just are still clumping up. I mean, we still got, 10, 15 days left,
For sure.
and they are nice, dude. I mean, they're tight, nice tight. So, I mean, I can't be mad.
Yeah, no way. No way.
They got
That's
they got
definitely a hormone response there due to the stress that just promoted just vigorous growth, dude. Because
well
and
that and the
releasing
terpenes.
all these tur yeah, yeah. I mean everything
The
just went
terps are
off.
just, I mean, insane, insane.
Which
Like it
makes
was
sense.
hot.
That's everything we learn about, dude. You know, everything is like, okay, when bugs land and start eating leaves, they start releasing hormones like that. When they're stress indicators, they go into this
Yeah,
potential,
I mean, they turned out just. I mean, I was shocked. Like I'm still shocked. Like they didn't, and all that. Look at all that green. You can see it coming around the edge. It's all algae come back all around the edges here, and that is what we were missing when we went to crab. When this disappeared, everything went to shit. And that was like my first sign. I was like, where my algae going? Where? And then I was like, all right, wait a minute, where are my shrimp at? And I was like, why is my fish dying? And I was like, wait a minute, why is all my grass going yellow? What the fuck? And I was like, wait a minute, the only thing I've done differently is
yeah,
change the
yeah.
lights.
Wild.
Like I was pumping this freaking red light in here and lost all my algae, I mean, everything just went. And not only that, the plants started doing this. It really started showing signs of deficiencies, like complete lockout and overwater. Like they were suffocating, like they had too much water, but they were also in lockout,
Yeah,
like they were
they
not
weren't
taking up
fully.
any nutrients. And then I sent you that soil, and you were like, "Yeah, yeah, things are slowing down. Your predators aren't here. They're not awake. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're not seeing what we were seeing." And you literally see the results. Now it's coming back. I mean, you can see it now coming back. The algae's come back. The grass is starting to grow in the creek around the edges. All because we changed the lights back. We got rid of the red and we added back the purple non-sulfur bacteria in the lab. Like they did back, and then the algae came right back. Everything just started. We could see green in the edges of the sand and silt again, where we won't see in that green. And that green is just producing that oxygen, allows those roots to breathe. You can see that our star moss is really starting to take off. Been in here almost 2 weeks now, and it's actually growing. Uh,
I
all
love
the
that. I'm digging that star moss, dude. I'm looking at your lives and I'm like, look at this thing taking off, bro. Look at it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it loves it right there.
I bet you there's so much algae in that we could like crush one of those leaves, put it under the scope, and we're gonna see. Guarantee you, we're gonna see
Uh,
algae in there. I mean, I don't
I'm gonna
guarantee it,
send,
but
I'm
I
gonna send
guarantee
you
it.
a little bit
I
of
don't
everything.
guarantee it, but I guarantee it, right? It's kind of like,
Yeah, it's crazy how like you called it dead money, dude. I mean, you called it. Everything that happened, all stemmed from that. And this, the experience that I just went through proves it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there's no doubt in my
yeah.
mind now. And
I
I'm a
bet you.
doubting motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I like to ask questions and fucking, but there's no doubt. And people were giving me all kinds of explanations. I was like, yeah, but you didn't do the lights like I did. You know what I mean? You didn't,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
Well,
had
that's the
no
problem right there.
idea
Is it?
what I did. I experienced it. Like I saw it with my own eyes. I watched the fucking things literally die in front of my face
And then we're watching the
when I
micro
turned it.
level of it, say no way, and then they died at the microscopic level. So
Yeah,
from
yeah.
macro to micro, it all died.
It all died, and it all stemmed from that light.
Yeah.
It was all because I removed that blue light, that white, and increased the reds, some deep red, and learning now that that water is going to intensify that deep red, and just you literally watched it just disappear. Like one day it's here, and the next day it's just going away. And then when I flipped the lights back, it would slowly come back, over the next couple of months. And then I'd do it again. But this time I did it even worse than before. I normally I wasn't removing the white light. You know what I mean? I was leaving that at like 90% and just bringing in the deep red at like 15, 20%. Well, this time I kind of did the opposite. You know what I mean? I reduced the white and cool white down to like 20% and increased the deep red to like 60% and let that go for like 2 days straight. And that's a big no-no. That just crushed. And I literally watched it. like it was so like a hurricane coming, like a tornado. You go to bed, everything's
Yeah,
fine. You come out
yeah.
the next morning and shit's all fucked up.
Like what?
It's
Dad.
like,
Oot, oot, oot,
no.
oot, oot.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wild stuff.
But we know what did it, though. That's what's cool about it. We know what did it.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
now we can, pass that knowledge on. And, so
Yeah.
it's definitely something like the light, and then listening to Nick talk about the power of light and
Oh
plant.
man.
And
No,
I
dude.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense. I just
Uh-huh.
witnessed all that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I witnessed the light just destroying everything versus it could just make everything thrive and just beautiful green, or it can just crush you instantly.
Yeah. Yep. That's what it all comes down to, man. Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I'm gonna get ready, dude. I got some work to do, and I want to get that. I was, just a heads up. I was back and forth with Matt, and he's ready to roll whenever we're ready to roll. So, um, that's gonna be awesome to host Matt Powers, which is gonna be amazing. And
Yeah,
then
bring it on whenever you want.
we'll line them up. We'll line them. We'll start
Line them
lining
up
them
whenever you
up.
want to start lining up people. It's fine with me. We can do it. We do a couple shows and
Yeah, yeah.
start lining them up right after that. It's
So
fine
I
with me.
saw a comment here. So Josh here, Yellow Skunk, is actually we've teamed up. So that Thursday night live is both of us. I wasn't just hosting him, coming from my channel. So that's awesome. So we get Skunk all the time.
Oh
But
yeah,
amigo, man, I'm gonna go do my thing, and you do your thing, and I'll reach out to you later. I want to jump on the platform there and start bringing in a little more art, a little more, toys, and figuring out that stream art.
sounds
It's
good, brother. Do
pretty
your
good.
thing, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you tonight later
Appreciate
on.
everybody watching, man. I'm gonna head out, go get back out there into this heat and grind it out a little more.
Peace.
Peace out.